to our Life Wedding DLC. Back at it again. Hello, Baxter. After setting down as the process got on, Cove's nerves had to drop back to initial appointment levels. Greetings were exchanged, and Baxter didn't leave a space open for Cove to get lost in. Your planner went right to the point. What shall we be doing today? Caterer. Oh right, we didn't pair clothes yet. I guess we're keeping the dancing part last. Alright. Cove's brightening enthusiasm was no surprise. Seafood always excited him. Baxter placed his hands on the arms of his chair and lightly tapped it with the tips of his fingers. That should be a nice time. I'll make sure you find the proper service to meet your needs. But don't worry, I won't get in the way of deciding any of the details for the menu. Thanks. I appreciate that. After that, the rest of the session circled around finding a specific catering company. Eventually, you all agreed on one in particular. They were able to make arrangements with you right away. One phone call and you had scheduled a time to go over details in person. That included a meeting with the chef too. And as an added bonus, this would all happen before your next appointment with Baxter. It was a relief knowing that the menu would be taken care of by the next time you saw him again. Until then, there wasn't much else to do. It was time to leave. Thanks again for your help.
See you.
It's my pleasure. Of course, I await your next visit. We'll be back soon. Bye. Baxter nodded with a genuine smile as he watched you head out the door. Once you were outside the offices, you noticed a little pep in Cove's step. You were both in good spirits. Chipping away at the wedding planning had a special way of doing that. On the scheduled appointment with the caterer, you and Cove eagerly arrived at the location specified over the phone. You were led inside the building, past the seating room, and directly into the commercial kitchen. Alright, everything looks pretty clean here, wherever we're at. It was sleek, silver, and so clean that it sparkled. That observation alleviated some worries right away. Next to you, Cove's eyes wandered the space with intrigue. Along the back wall, you spotted a woman in a sink large enough to be an arm's length deep. She looked over her shoulder and grinned broadly. Hold on, I'll be right there. She finished washing up and swiftly across the room, drying her hands on her apron, and when she reached you and Cove, she gave a little bow. Hi, I'm the head chef and your caterer. I hear that you're getting married and are in need of sustenance for your friends and family. Yeah, we are. Well, I can assure you that you've come to the right place. We provide a full course meal with a menu tailored to your tastes and requirements. We'll also include all the plating, silverware, and glasses, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Why don't you introduce yourselves? A bit stunned by the speediness of the chef's candor, Cove took the opposite approach and slowly awkwardly pointed to himself. I'm Cove, the groom. And my name's Michiko, I'm the bride. I love it, you can call me Rhonda. Okay, hi Rhonda. Hi Rhonda, thanks a bunch for meeting with us. Marvelous, now I have a little pamphlet that I'm gonna go grab. You can read it, leave it on the counter, use it as coaster, it's okay. I'm gonna explain everything myself anyways. Think of it as an extra guide. Rhonda waved the idea of any formality with both hands as she would. She also shrugged nonchalantly. Cove chuckled shyly, leaned towards you while she lightly jogged to the other side of the kitchen. She scooped up the 2 information sheets and came right back. Rhonda confidently stretched her arm out all the way to offer you each a pamphlet. Both of you accepted one. Cove turned his around in his hands, inspecting it carefully. You studied the one in your hands too. Oh, how cute! Is this like pasta with tofu in it? Or cheese, chunks of cheese? One remarkable catering experience. Call for reservation. Okay. Well, now that I remember that, we can get into the nitty-gritty. Let's shop talk the menu. You can choose to have a single menu that consists across the board, easy peasy, or we can do up to 2 fully separate types of menus based on different dietary needs. Guests could choose between them, and we'll prepare as much of both as needed. Excuse me. And it practically goes without saying, but we'll be able to accommodate individual plate changes if any comes up. For example, a situation where just 1 or 2 people need some specific elements left out. We can work with that without needing to make another full selection for it. So what kind of menu do you have in mind? Can I have 2? One with full-scale exclusions for taste and allergies. Yeah, because I want all this stuff. Not a problem. The chef pulled out a notepad and pen. She listened closely as you explained the types of foods you'd like to be excluded based on the individual needs of your group. And that's the only menu style needed. With like a second one that was... Wait, what? There's a second one? Oh no, we can just stick with that one, right? You were confident that your friends and family were in for a delicious surprise. Turning to Cove, you checked to see if he had opinions on the menu. How does that sound? I'm thinking that we have a good plan going. Great. That's the biggie already done. Let's keep that ball rolling. Alright, what's next on the agenda? At the minimum, there's going to be a main entree in our service, so that's 1 course automatically. And if you're having a cake or another dessert, that'll technically be another course for your guests. Although that doesn't count as one of the portions that we offer here, I can go up to 6 courses, a dinner, and as many as 5 additional portions. So we're looking at salad, soup, a hot appetizer, a cold appetizer, and or a palate cleanser. Do you know how big you want the service to be? I think we only want a 1-course meal. What about you? I feel like a 2-course meal is enough. What about you? 3-course meal, 4-course meal. I like to have a 5-course meal. How do you feel? Let's do the full 6-course meal. Why not? I feel like because they are a small party, that the 6-course meal will be not as expensive and fun to like do. But if you're like obviously having like 500 people for your wedding, a 1-course meal, deal, done. So, but this is a very close friend family thing, so 6-course meal, why not? Cove laughed abruptly, then he stared at you in awe for a moment. Do you seriously mean that? A 6-course meal plus the dessert we're getting? Why not? Go big or go home. Oh, okay, the whole thing it is then. The last thing I'm gonna be upset over is more food. In that case, there's no need to select which types of extra courses you're having because you'll be getting each one each, sorry. The corners of Cove's mouth bent into an amused grin, and as he lightly reached over to squeeze your hand, you could tell he was getting more excited about this plan by the second. You share that feeling wholeheartedly. Seriously, why bother picking between things when we can enjoy them all? I mean, if you have a budget, you can't do that, obviously. Perfection. Oh, and then how much heat are you expecting for the dishes? We can keep it all very mild, or can easily push the spice levels up. Mild as the base, please. Generally medium, make it all spicy. The food should be burning hot. See, when she said how hot, I'm like, what do you mean how hot? You gotta keep the food warm, no? But she's talking about spice levels. Less spicy for the main entree and hotter for the extra. She looked over at Cove, waiting for it. I feel like mild as the base. That'll keep everyone happy. Maybe there could be sauces on the table for people to add their own. We can do that. Your lips pulled into a happy smile. Not that you were surprised, but still you were grateful to have Cove's full support here. And the chef backtracked through her notes for a second. She thought over everything that you all had discussed until she could pin down exactly what slipped in her mind. What about the drinks? Are we just a water please party, a coffee and tea group, or hard drinkers? There's always at least going to be water, even if you have other options, so don't worry about that. Oh, I'd like there to be... oh, fruit juices, hell yeah. Sparkling water, beers, mixed cocktails, just water, wines. Can we have all milk though? That's kind of random. Alright, tea, wines, mixed cocktails. I'm not a fan of beer or like, well, I feel like liquor over beer for sure. Sparkling water, I guess, if you want that. Do I want coffee? I don't think I want coffee. What if I spill that shit? Well, what if I spilled any of that shit? I feel like that should be fun. Maybe fruit juices. Coffee, milk, and beers? No, thank you. I think we covered it. There's nothing else I'd want to add. We'll make it happen. So that's the menu type. Meal scale, spice level, and beverage basics. Please, Rana rolled up her sleeves. Her gaze fell on you and Cove with a new determined gleam. Let's go deeper. What, there's more? Cove smiled nervously at the chef's intensity, but he didn't wilt completely. He had a sneaking suspicion his remaining strength came from the topic still being about food. The conversation continued from there. It dug into specifics such as the main protein and side ingredients, the style of cuisine. Oh, true, we need to know all that. The style of cuisine the foods would be based on, and so on and on. It took a fair bit of time, but eventually a finalized selection was arranged. You couldn't get over how delicious everything sounded the longer the conversation went. By the end, Cove appeared just as relieved and excited as you were about the food. But most of all, you were also so grateful to have a set menu plan for the wedding. Rhonda, however, hadn't slowed down at all. I say you're both settling down for a rest, but just hang on and stay with me a little longer. We're not done yet. Oh, there's something else? Yes, and it's called presentation. We can do all levels of flair for your meal. Were you picturing a plain Jane approaching or something, or a hoity-toity? That stuff just needs to be on the plate. I'd like it for some care was put into an arrangement. Taking extra steps to have an excellent presentation will be appreciated. Presentation. She's right, it'd be good if it felt special for that day of all times. That works for us. So as they start to talk about way back when, we'll provide the plates and the utensils and such. Our plates are white, but they can be completely plain or have little swirly details around the edges. What do you think of that? Before you and Cove could even consider giving an answer, she held both her hands up to stop that, and stole a glance over her shoulder. Oh wait, give me a second, I'll grab some stacks. You should see before choosing anything. Again, without leaving a window to say anything in response, Rhonda darted off deeper into the kitchen. Cove stared at her as she went. His expression was deadpan. You can pick the plates. Thank you, yes. Alright, I handle it. What? Does it look like I want to pick out the plates? You're not a casual. You shook her head clearly. Thank you. An abrupt clattering came from the direction she disappeared down, and a moment later, a caterer had reappeared. She kept her word and had piles of plates balanced in each of her hands. She stepped up to the clear counter space. Rhonda spoke cheerily, almost musically, while laying out the first set of plates and some forks to go with them. Perhaps you knew for sure what they'd look like together. Here's a white. Cove looked down distantly, but you leaned forward to properly scrutinize pure white dinner plates. Ooh, the swirlies! And there's a squirrel. As promised, this time there was an extra design element on the plates. You considered it carefully. Now, what are you thinking? The swirly one. Got it. Thanks for humoring me. And because you're getting both the hot and cold appetizer courses, there's an extra piece to this puzzle. Now, what we could do is just bring them out ahead of the meal and place them in front of each guest in their seat, but that's not our only option. We could have all the appetizers set on a single table from the very start of the reception so guests can go over and eat as they please. Or we could even have servers walking around the room with platters of appetizers to offer your guests throughout the party as they mingle. Makes sense to me to serve them on the table for the entree. I would enjoy having servers. I think it makes sense to have them already on the table. I don't want servers walking around as like extra people walking around. That would keep things straightforward. Righto, that's what we'll do. Thank you. And now you can breathe. We're done. Rhonda laughed happily as she closed her notepad and put it aside. Okay, cool. I'm glad we have that worked out. Thank you very much, Rhonda. That's great. Thanks for all the help. It's my pleasure. We're looking forward to knocking your socks off. I'm wondering how this wedding is actually going to look. Or are we just like picking things but we're not actually going to see it on display? It'll be 6-course special requirements. Mild meal that your guests will be talking about for years to come, I promise. Neat. One last quick question. Sure thing. How do we get out of here again? Rhonda clapped her hands and let out a deep laugh. Cove's face reddened with embarrassment. Go down the hall and take a left to another hall, then a right, and then you'll find the exit. It was so nice meeting you two. Thanks. Again. After that, you and Cove left the kitchen and made it out of the building in one piece, following Rhonda's instructions. You both returned to the car with a vigor in your strides. It was amazing to get such a nice meal arranged in exactly the way that you both wanted it to be. The food was definitely something you were going to be daydreaming about from now until the big day. Alright, back with Baxter, which means I will see you guys in the next episode for our big clothing deciding. I don't know if there's going to be pictures for us to see the clothing because we don't ever see our MC anyway. It's more like we see Cove. But thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful and I will see you guys in the next one.